The first month of 2025 brought with it a stark reminder of the fragility of life, as skies across the nation were tragically marred by aviation accidents. While any loss of life is a tragedy, the mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport on January 29 shook the nation to its core. This devastating incident, involving an American Airlines regional jet and a U.S. Army helicopter, claimed the lives of all 67 souls on board both aircraft, making it the deadliest aviation disaster on U.S. soil since the horrific events of 2001. Adding to the grim start to the year, a separate crash in Philadelphia just days later resulted in 7 fatalities and 19 injuries, further underscoring the inherent risks associated with air travel. These incidents have understandably led to heightened anxiety and apprehension among the flying public, prompting a renewed national conversation about aviation safety and the measures in place to prevent such tragedies. The investigations into both crashes are ongoing, with authorities working diligently to determine the sequence of events that led to these catastrophic outcomes. While it's too early to definitively point to the exact causes, preliminary findings suggest a complex interplay of factors, including potential human error, mechanical issues, and environmental conditions. As families grieve the loss of their loved ones and investigators work tirelessly to piece together the events that led to these tragedies, one thing is clear: the quest for answers and the pursuit of enhanced safety measures will be a long and arduous journey. The American Airlines regional jet, operating as Flight 5342, was on its final approach to Reagan National Airport, carrying 60 passengers, many of whom were returning from a figure skating event, along with 4 crew members. Simultaneously, a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter with 3 soldiers on board was conducting a routine training flight from Fort Belvoir. Both aircraft were on standard flight patterns, cleared by air traffic control, when the unthinkable occurred, a mid-air collision that sent shockwaves through the nation. The impact occurred over the Potomac River, scattering debris across a wide area and posing significant challenges for recovery efforts. As of a week after the crash, only 28 bodies have been recovered from the icy waters, a grim testament to the complexity and emotional toll of the disaster. The National Transportation Safety Board has taken the lead in the investigation, with a focus on uncovering the sequence of events that led to the collision. Their efforts will center around analyzing the recovered black boxes, scrutinizing air traffic control communications, and examining potential factors such as pilot experience, aircraft maintenance records, and weather conditions at the time of the crash. The investigation is expected to be lengthy and complex, with a preliminary report expected in the coming weeks and a final report, including recommendations for safety improvements, likely to take several months. While the investigation unfolds, the nation mourns the loss of life and grapples with the implications of this tragedy for the future of aviation safety. The aftermath of the DC crash saw an outpouring of grief and support from across the nation and around the world. Vigils were held in honor of the victims, while communities rallied to support the families left devastated by the tragedy. However, amidst the collective mourning, the political arena was not immune to the divisive rhetoric that has become all too common. President Trump, never one to shy away from controversy, drew sharp criticism for his response to the tragedy. Breaking from the traditional tone of unity and solace expected from a leader in times of national mourning, President Trump instead used the platform to launch into a tirade against his political opponents. He blamed Democratic policies and diversity initiatives for the crash, without providing any evidence to support his claims, and went on to criticize previous administrations and former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. In contrast to the president's inflammatory remarks, other key officials offered more measured and somber responses. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, while acknowledging the tragedy, called for reforms to prevent future incidents, stating that the collision was entirely preventable. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed the helicopter's routine training mission, highlighting the experience of the crew involved. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who was on site with the Coast Guard during the response efforts, expressed her condolences to the families of the victims and praised the bravery of the first responders. Despite the stark contrast in tone between the president and other officials, the DC crash has undeniably sparked a nationwide conversation about aviation safety. The tragedy has renewed concerns about airspace congestion, particularly around busy airports like Reagan National, and has prompted calls for increased investment in air traffic control technology and safety protocols. In the wake of these tragic events, it's understandable for many to feel anxious about air travel. The vivid imagery of the DC crash, coupled with the constant news coverage, can easily overshadow the statistical reality flying remains the safest mode of transportation. According to a 2024 MIT study, the risk of death per boarding for worldwide air travelers between 2018 and 2022 was a mere 1 in 13.7 million, with the risk decreasing by an encouraging 50% every decade. To put that into perspective, over 86.8 million passengers flew in August 2024 alone, according to the U.S. Department of Transportation. These figures underscore the remarkable safety record of commercial aviation, a testament to the continuous advancements in technology, rigorous safety regulations, and the dedication of aviation professionals. However, despite the reassuring statistics, it's crucial to acknowledge that risk can never be entirely eliminated. Human error remains a leading cause of aviation accidents, highlighting the importance of ongoing training, fatigue management, and robust safety protocols. Furthermore, mechanical issues, while becoming increasingly rare due to stringent maintenance standards, can still occur, emphasizing the need for proactive inspections and timely repairs. The recent tragedies serve as a stark reminder that the pursuit of aviation safety is an ongoing endeavor. While the fear and anxiety sparked by such events are understandable, it's essential to approach air travel with a balanced perspective, acknowledging both the statistical safety and the inherent risks involved. By learning from these tragedies, implementing necessary safety improvements, and fostering a culture of transparency and accountability within the aviation industry, we can strive to make the skies safer for everyone.